New conversation. Let's talk, think about it. Let's get it together. Together we can do it. Oh, out of the box. Think out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Think out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box.
Welcome to Touch the World Radio Show. This is week 2 of the guest host August edition, and I'm your host, Jay Got Soul. You're now tuned into the first segment of Out of the Box podcast. I want to thank my mentor, Lady Eva J, for this opportunity to spread my wings, and I want to thank you all that are tuned in, and I'd like to ask you all to share this broadcast so we can reach as many people as we possibly can. But first, let's start off with a word of prayer. Dear God, thank you for this chance to come together and just discuss a very important topic like urban ownership. I appreciate this moment. I appreciate Kaylon for coming in here and talking with us, and we just want to have a great show. So God, just bring your spirit here and allow us to do what we would what you would have us to do, and we're going to get on with the show. Thank you, Lord, and amen. Amen. So, all right. So tonight's topic is urban ownership. We will be discussing this with our guests, the meaning and the importance of ownership, urban ownership. Here's a quote from my most recent release article, Little Africa Reboot, which helped me produce this show. Despite the current constant criticism, African American churches are a perfect example of Black-owned financial institutions that have successfully survived centuries of slavery, Jim Crow, acts of terrorism from their European counterparts. Still, the African American churches managed to instill core family values, ethics, guide our beliefs, cultivated our culture, and displayed our musical and artistic talents. This is noted by Dr. Claude Anderson. The African American church continues to produce high quality level production, music production, and talents. And this article can be found on my website at jgotsoul.com, as well as merch like the hoodie that I am wearing now says Black Money Matters, Act Like It. And you could just go in there, check it out when you get a chance. With that being said, before we introduce our guests, we're going to take a short break and we will be right back. Bankhead, please play Move On You by Kaylon Hallman.
Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me?
I be saying one that's so down, one that's gonna pick you up, one that's gonna say I got 2 minutes. I'm a baby. Oh, girl. And when you get that one, you gotta know how to stay. You gotta know how to stay. I wish that I can move on you. Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? I wanna move on you, girl. Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? I wanna move on you, girl. I just need that energy. Somebody that's gonna be my inner peace. I need one to hold me down. She don't mind keeping me company. 2 arms hold me tight. Talking about the staying up, treat you right. Lay our head on each other's shoulder. I know you want that every day, night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Said I need you, girl, and I want you, girl. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Tell me what you wanna do. Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? I want you, girl. Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? I want you, girl. Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? I want you, girl. Can I talk to you? Can you talk to me? I want you, girl.
You are tuned in to Touch the World Radio Show, the Out of the Box podcast edition. If you're just joining us, you just tuned in at the perfect time. We're about to introduce our in-studio guest for the night. So we have special guests in studio this evening. His name is Kaylon Hallman. He is a phenomenal writer, artist, musician, and producer on the rise. One of the things that stood out most to me about this artist is his consistency and determination. You guys help me welcome Kaylon Hallman in the studio.
How's it going?
All right. So let's share our story, how we met. I wanted to talk about that because it's a crazy story. Okay. So you were working at
Planet Fitness. Yeah.
And it was like around the time we would come into the gym because you met my partner first.
Correct.
And you told her about your music.
Right.
And I was like feeling some type of way because I would come in every morning and I'd be saying hi and you kind of dazed off,
Yeah.
looking like, like you've been there all night, which is the truth.
Right.
And then I started listening to the music, and when I heard it, I listened to it multiple times. I'm like, this dude got something. And then I approached you, and from there, you remember that conversation that we
Yep.
had? We were talking about your ability to come from the church and start to produce your own music, and that's the reason why I have him here with us. So, what do you remember about that experience?
I remember being at Planet Fitness, and I'll be so sleepy just being on the clock, and she'll be her partner walked in. She always come in around, I think it will be about, can't really remember the time, but
4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah, right, probably about 4 or 5. And then I'll see her, and I'll just be so dog tired, and I'll just let her know about my music, and she started to listen as she kept coming in. As you kept coming in, you kind of we start to build a relationship, and then from there, I mean, it was all green. Like I used to just always tell you, like, I really want to do this music thing. This is my passion. This is something that I breathe, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I just kept, we kept seeing each other, and here it is.
Yep. And y'all got to check out his catalog. His catalog, though, it's so dope. Like, he has so many talents, you'll see. But so tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you come from and where you grew up, that type of thing. So
I grew up in LA, just around here. I grew up in church, just growing up, with my mom. My mom was a single mother, and I used to always just be in church when I used to watch her sing and be like, dang, man, I want to sing too, or I want to play music, since she was leading the choir. And my granddad, he was the biggest influence in my life because he pushed it big time. Like, he'd be, after school, he'd be like, man, let's get to this music, and in the evening time, what you doing? Let's get to this music, sing a song. I used to be like, Pops, I don't really want to sing right now. Like everybody outside playing, and you trying to get me to sing. I'm like, man, it doesn't make sense.
I want to be outside.
Yeah. So as I kept just being around my granddad and watch him pastor a church, it kind of, he was like, man, one day you gonna understand. And now I look, 10 to 15 years ahead, and I'm just like, wow, like, look what I'm doing.
Right.
I never said I was the best at it, or I just kept doing it. And I listened to him, and I took his advice, and he older than me, so I was just like, you know what, I like music. And a lot of times, like, when you young, you don't really necessarily want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily want to do it, you know, and it's just one of those things where I just listened. I didn't know where it was going. I just listened. I knew I wanted to listen. I liked doing music, and it came full on.
What was your first? I would say, like, what is your first instrument that you ever played?
My first instrument I started playing. Well, I started singing first.
Okay.
That's an instrument in itself to me, and then from there I started playing drums.
Okay.
And from drums I started playing bass a little bit. And my granddad always had me on the piano, but I never really liked it like that. So I didn't start taking that serious till about probably 14 to now.
Okay.
You know, just knowing just a little bit on there. And now I'm able to, I always told God, like, I don't got to be the best musician, but bless me to be able to touch everything by the time I was 18. And there it was. He opened my mind, and that's the only person I knew that can do it. So.
Okay. Yeah. So you were introduced by your mom and your granddad.
Yeah.
And you're a PK too.
Yes.
Okay. So y'all check out his music. Like, really go to his YouTube page. You're also on what other platforms are you on?
You can look at me on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, wherever you want to, find me at. Just type in Kaylon Harmon and you can just see it on Google.
Okay, bet. So right now we're going to take another short break and we're going to play 220. This is another one of my favorite tracks. Y'all check it out.
Thought it was the best thing. Oh, lot of queens. She the one on the scene. She drop it low. She put my coat. She talking to me. But oh, she bad. 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 I said pull up on me. Caught it at the beach. Slide with me, girl. Look like a cup of tea. Fine wine, baby, too shine. Little mama on the main line. Talk to me, girl. Talk to me. We can head to the city. Find your favorite place to eat. Baby, all on me. Tell me if you down with me, girl. Tell me if you gonna work with me, girl. I know I ain't perfect. Baby, I can go rounds and rounds. All with you. You a dime piece. Always true. She tell me she want me. She talking to me. Never fall, just do me. Stay true, that's the real me. Oh, she bad, oh, she bad. Oh, she bad, oh, she bad. Oh, she bad, oh, she bad. Oh, she bad, oh, she bad.
Bring your youth, family, friends to Hip Hop Church LA Outreach Ministry. We have services on the third Sundays during the months of February, April, June, August, October, and December. We have artists who come and minister in rap, crump and praise dance, singers, and spoken word. Gigi Sweet is our DJ who keeps the praise party rocking. Service begin at 5 p.m. For more information, you can go to hiphopchurchla.org, call us at 323-557-3803, or email info@hiphopchurchla.org. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And always remember, don't get it twisted. God has always existed.
All right, you're tuned in to Touch the World Radio Show, the Out of the Box Podcast Edition. We are joined in studio with special guest Kaylon Harmon. And we want to talk about your favorite projects that you've been working on. So, do you have any new projects, and what were your favorite projects to work on?
My favorite projects to work on was Trail Mix.
Okay.
And the reason why that is because Trail Mix is it was the first one. It was the one that was gonna pretty much, people always say, like, when you first coming out, that's how they judge you. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, this one gotta be
that
crazy.
Impression.
You know what I'm saying? This one gotta be crazy. So I went the route of Trail Mix. Not only do you have your raisins, but you have your peanuts and cashews too. So I just felt like from track 1 to track 7, you just get you get the meat and potatoes. You understand who I am. From track 1, I talk about where I'm from, who, in the song "Who Are You," and then all the way down to "Never Knew," you know, and getting my heart broken, and "Where Did She Go," and it just had just a lot of different parts of my life in that project. And then from Trail Mix, I went to the next one titled "Evolve."
Okay.
And the reason why I named that "Evolve" was because I felt like I evolved financially, spiritually, musically, but Trail Mix, to answer your question, was my favorite project to work on. As far as the projects that I'm working on now, right now I just got a bunch of singles, like just a bunch of tracks, but I don't know exactly what I want to call it. I can pick some songs and create a project, like tonight, you know, or whenever, but it got to be right. I want everything to make sense. I want people to understand my story and where I'm going from. I feel like every project that I put out, you're gonna understand where I'm at in life.
Okay.
And what's going on, and what's being created, and what's gonna now manifest in my life. So yeah.
I like how in one of your songs you mentioned how you put everything to work. And you said you put everything to work. You said, I put everything to work, and I'm always certain. What does that mean to you?
Meaning, like, I use all my resources. I use all my resources, and I use exactly whatever's around me, whatever the people that I'm talking to, I'm gonna use it. If you give me access, I'm going with it. You know, and that's just how I always been. I always been able to use everything around me to its T, and a lot of people are like, man, well, why I'm not where I want to be? It's because you got a lot of people around you, you just don't use them. And people will tell you, like, oh man, I'll do this for you, and people just don't
follow through.
Don't even follow through with it, you know. And just look at us now. It's like we talked about this,
right? And
you said what you was gonna do, and I said I was gonna do, and it started at Planet Fitness, right? Like at my job,
right?
And
that was like a year and a half ago, too.
That was like a year and a half ago, and now it didn't all the way. It done came here now, so I just feel that I'm grateful, and I'm grateful that you even saw something in me, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so like let's talk about the ownership aspect of your music. So how important is it for you to have that control over your creativity?
I think it's very important to have your control over your creativity, because when you get around a lot of people and different people in the industry, they will make you who they want you to be. You will tell them, like, yo, like, this is who I am. I understand you funding it, but I've learned that when you fund something, when you got your own money, you can do whatever you want to do.
Facts.
But if somebody else is trying to help you, you got to go that route. But at the same time, that's why I felt like, you know, it's black and white, I'm gonna just go over here with it. Like, no matter how long it takes for me to do what I gotta do, I'm gonna just go ahead and push toward the mark over here, you know. So that's why I do what I do. Yeah.
Okay, so let them know again. I want to just reiterate, where can they find your music?
You can find my music on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, YouTube. They're all available on streaming platforms. So if you just type my name, Kaylon Hallman, that's Kaylon, last name Hallman, Hallman, you can find me right there.
Okay. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to go to promotion number 2. And we'll be right back with Kaylon Hallman.
Hey family, this is Lady Eva J. I wanted to take this time to have a serious conversation with you. I have been given a new assignment to touch the world in a different way. Our lives have all been shifted in this recent pandemic, and we have lost family, friends, and loved ones. Here's the hard part. No one wants to talk about being insured. Well, my new assignment is to educate families on how to financially invest in themselves while also making sure they're covered correctly when God calls them home. Do you have life insurance? Do you know what you really have? Are you sure you're covered in the correct way? Have you invested so you don't have to pay life insurance your whole life? Yes, I said your whole life. Well, let's talk about it. Let's make sure our families don't have to find money to lay us to rest. Call me at 323-494-9585. Once again, that's 323-942-9585. And let's have a brief conversation about it. After all, I'm here to serve you. This is Lady Eva J, and I'm out.
You are tuned into Touch the World radio show, and in case you're just joining us, we are in the studio with Kaylon Hallman. And so we talked about, owning your process and just making sure that you own, what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So you've had experience in the area of having these companies are coming to look for you and trying to give you money, So tell us about that. Tell us about your decision making and just where your head is at. Because if you got multiple, you have multiple offers,
so
that's big.
So when I first, I would say when I first started getting offers, about 20 years old, and I dropped Where Did She Go in 2015.
Okay. Dang.
I dropped Where Did She Go in 2015.
Dang.
So I'm 24 years old now. So I was getting a lot of recognition for that song. People were hitting me up, a lot of management. And I was just like, you know what? They'll tell me oh, we want 20%. I'm like, man, that's too high. I'm reading books. They're telling me bro, everything start at 10 and go up, you know? And if you start at 15, it's up to you. But it's just at least let's try to work something out. And from the management to the investors to different labels like that, I'll just be like, man, I'm good. I'm not taking the 80-20 situations, And a lot of times, even with the label, you look at the label and they'll make you famous, but how much of that do you own?
Right.
And what's the guarantee that you're going to get it back after you done, owning what I had,
Right.
So I just think that it's very important. You got to do what you want to do. Some people just in it for a quick bag. Some people in it just to do music. Just to be like, hey, yo, I'm a part of the crowd. What everybody else doing. Some people just be like, look, my soul is in this. I'm with God, and wherever it take me, I got a plan, and I'm gonna put the necessary steps to get where I'm trying to go, and I'm gonna just have faith.
Yeah.
But I'm not just gonna be out here just not being myself and not being able to show who I am. And then on top of that, you end up miserable.
Yeah.
You end up miserable. I just seen a lot of artists post on Instagram on how, man, they're famous. They're like, man, I wish I would have did things different, and I wish I would have went a different route with this whole thing, and even questioning music. And I'm like, man, wow, well, I got my peace of mind.
Right. That's big because in that article that I referenced in the beginning, I'm talking a lot about just the fact that a lot of our talents are stemming from where our background is, and that's
Correct.
the church.
Correct.
I have an ear for music. Right. I don't know about my voice. People tell me I could sing, but I'm not too confident in that. Right. But I know I got my ear for music through church, through my pastors, Pastor Melvin and April Jackson. They're a very music-oriented family. Right. And so, I think it's important that, you own that. You don't let anybody exploit that, right. You know what I'm saying? And you take full ownership of your creative process, which I see you doing when you post your videos of you starting with this and then you go to the keyboard. I'm like, yo, this dude is doing it in your own little zone.
Right.
I don't see nobody else there, so you don't need no entourage to get your music up. You doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I really wanted to kind of talk about that because I was writing that article at the time when we had that conversation. I hadn't even finished it. I didn't even know what direction I was going to go in. But I was reading too, and I was reading Dr. Claude Anderson, and he was talking a lot about just the African American community and how we were able to maintain something. We weren't able to maintain everything throughout all of the, the issues that we had, but church, that was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we grew up through that. And then we had music.
Correct.
And in the beginning times, we saw how a lot of the artists that came from the church were being exploited. Correct. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now we years past that, and to see you come up and do what you doing, I'm like, this is next level, And even if you haven't even made it yet, like, yet you going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really see that.
I really appreciate that. But all I would say is, when you look at the black church and you look at what's being done today, I feel like we're doing a great job at promoting black excellence and like how you got Black Money Matters, like that. These type of things is what's gonna put us in the next caliber. We keep talking about it, but now we're doing it.
Right.
Everybody be like, man, black's at the bottom of the totem pole. But if you really look at it, bro, we're taking the necessary steps to get to that, to get to where we want to go. And I saw this little post on Instagram. It says there's only 15 black billionaires or something like that.
Oh yeah. I saw
and I
that
was
too.
like, I just said in my head, I was like, and there's more coming.
Facts.
So long as we have the mindset to keep growing and spreading, we're gonna always be great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I agree. Like, I'm big on uplifting our community because I feel like there's not a lot of that, and it's not enough of that. Not a lot. It's not enough of that. It's like there's always criticism, but where's the praise?
Right.
When it's due. Right. And there's a lot of people who just don't feel that they can put themselves out there, and I used to be one of those. I'm coming out of that little part of me, and now I'm just like, I've got talents that I haven't even tapped into. Yep. Like this one came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
At first I wasn't really sure about this, and then my mentor started putting me on these shows, and we'll be here for 2 hours, and I'm like, I did not know we was gonna be here for that long a time. I didn't have that much written down to write, talk about. Yeah. But now it's like it's a comfort, and now I get to open it up to other entrepreneurs who got your own, your own record label and all that kind of stuff, and you're producing great music. So I just think it just works. You know what I'm saying?
It really does.
It really do. So right now we're going to take another break. I want y'all to hear one more track by Mr. Hallman. Bankhead Play Sierra Hall. That one's another one.
Came up in the schoolyard. So bad I had to talk to her. Cruising with my wolves. Now we can't lose. I used to see you doing your thing, running through Sierra Hall, making nice. Can I brag about you? Can I write about you? Can I talk to you? All I need is you. All I need is you. All I need is you. All I need. All I need is you. All I know. All I need is you. All I need is your girl. All I need is your girl. No, no. You're the one I told. You're the one I can't deny. Put it all on you. Everything I do, girl. One thing's for sure, I need you now. Breaking the choke. That's all I wanna do, girl. No, put it on me. I can do for you, girl. Put it on me. All I need is you. All I need is you. All I need is you. All I need. All I need is you. All I need is you.
You are tuned in to Touch the World Radio Show, the Out of the Box Podcast Edition. We are in the studio with our guest, Kaylon Hallman, and you just heard Sierra Hall by Mr. Kaylon. So y'all check out his catalog. I told y'all it was dope. You just heard 3 songs. I told y'all it was dope. Check it out. All right, so I just want to kind of get your thoughts on the Kanye West Sunday service.
Okay.
What did you think about that production?
I thought it was dope. I thought everything he did was pretty creative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a lot of people that grew up at church and
Facts.
and a lot of people that was in choirs from churches.
Facts.
And he brought them all together and they created some good music.
Yeah.
They created some good good music all around. You know, he had the best there. So
Yeah, he
all
did.
I can say is I like the music that they was making, you know, so yeah.
It was super dope. I agree with you. I thought it was super dope because, like, I personally knew a few people that was recruited on that, you know,
Gotcha.
and it's like they already make dope music.
Right.
So, like, that furthered my point on the article that I wrote. Like, you know, we make some great music. There's so
Great.
many
Yeah,
musical, talented people that come out the church, and then, you know, like, for him to use that platform to bring them on, and they use the music, like, I think it was tribal. I think it was definitely gospel.
Right.
But it intertwined both of the cultural and the spiritual aspect.
What I thought was dope also was the way, you know, they didn't do the regular like bass, drums, guitar, organ. They used those instruments, but the drums was like, you know, marching band, and then how they had the bass line, and they had the bass, and then they had the acoustic piano, you know. So I thought that was dope. Like they did like a little marching band feel,
Yeah.
you know. So it was different,
Yeah,
for real.
yeah.
So, yeah.
What you think about just everything that's going on with Kanye now, though? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because I have some particular thoughts on it, but I want to hear what you think.
I just think that when people lose somebody in their life that's really close to them and they don't have nobody around them that's in their circle, you can definitely lose your mind. And I feel like mental health is one of the biggest things that you have to really stay true to. And that's why I said about losing yourself.
Yeah.
The biggest thing in the black community is, you know what I'm saying, like you in music, that's one of the biggest ways to just go off on the deep end.
Yeah.
So, not saying we're not gonna make mistakes, but if you don't have a close knitted group of individuals around you that can keep you and that can pull you back in when you fall, you're kind of walking on dangerous territory.
Agreed.
So I think Kanye, you know, I just think that he's just having mental health issues, and that's all I can really say.
I'm glad you said that because I agree. Like, our last segment we spoke about a couple weeks ago was mental health, and I'm a big advocate of mental health because I have my degree in psychology and I have a master's degree in counseling. So, like, when I'm thinking about it, I don't think about it like, oh, it's just Kanye West looking for attention. I'm thinking there's a history, there's, you know, some sequence of events that led to that situation.
How did he get to this point?
Right,
you know?
right. And everything that is done is, it may be attention driven because that's the lifestyle that he lives, but those are signs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a sign that something's not right, and maybe the people around him is not putting him in a safe environment where he can not go off the deep end and express himself.
Correct.
And he does it in front of the world, you
Correct.
know, because we don't get that much exposure.
That's right.
You know, but he's in front of cameras all the time, people trying to snap shots, so it makes it a little bit more difficult.
To even control yourself, control the situation. By the time you already in a situation, stuff done gone bad. So that's all I'm saying. It's just always good to have. You need those knitted people around you who's going, when you go off and do stuff, you need those people who can tell you like, yo, hey, watch out for this, yo, watch out for this. And of course, the number one person, God.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So,
yeah, can't leave that out.
when you talking to him, you good.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your company, your music company.
So I started an entertainment company. I actually had a sweater on. This is the Where Did She Go acoustic live that y'all see. With my friend Sam, which is my producing partner, me on the bass and singing, and then Charlie Burrell, one of the coldest guitar players I ever heard.
Oh yeah.
So-
We know Charlie.
So pretty much, yeah, shout out to Charlie. Man. But pretty much, yeah, my entertainment company, Holy Brothers Entertainment, I started it, you know, with a group of my friends, like Erman, he's from Chicago.
Okay.
My friend Quante, go by Q, he's from the Bay. Then my producing partner, like, he's like close knitted with me, real close. Samuel Smith, who y'all hear on a lot of these records with me. And I just decided to. I was just sitting at the stoplight one day, and someone was telling me like, get all your friends together and put something together.
That's how you do
You
it.
know what I mean? Like, y'all all play music, and all y'all got to do is learn business. So I jumped in school for economics, and I learned that, you know, about, you know, supply and demand, being able to just look at that and being able to understand, okay, what do I need to do in using my resources? Because that's what economics is. What I need, I want to use my resources, you know. So I was like, man, I'm gonna get these guys together. We're gonna start making some music, and then when I plan to get signed to do what I'm doing, I'm like, yo, we got something right here we can put the name under. We just need to, you know, maybe some funding or whatever that maybe whatever we work those kinks out. But at the same time, Holy Brothers Entertainment is what we want to go by, and we want to own what we made.
Right.
And we figure out the
Yeah.
you know,
Negotiations.
the situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's how Holy Brothers came about. I just thought it, and I thought it was dope. My granddad told me, they used to call them Holy Rollers, the people that was in the world. They'll call the people that was in church Holy Rollers.
Oh, okay.
So when the church person out in the world, they'd be like, oh, you Holy Roller. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I sat back one day and I was like, dang, Holy Rollers be hard.
I like that name though. That
So,
name is dope. Yeah.
Instead of doing ER, I just did AZ. So, yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I was just thinking about something when you just said your friends. Like I'm about rebuilding Black Wall Street too. So I got so many concepts in my brain about how to do business together.
Right.
And so the fact that you were able to bring your friends along with you instead of it being like, because you know how we live in that society where people are saying, oh, you got to make it first and then bring your friends along.
Right.
So you got to leave everybody behind.
Right.
And then, you know, and we see how that's working out for people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, the fact that you had that idea to do that, did you guys, like, fund it together, too?
Yeah, okay, so how, like, we would do it is, I would tell my friends, like, yo, y'all produce, do what y'all doing, working with the people y'all working with, work with whoever y'all working with. And then me as an artist, I've been pushing myself.
Okay.
I would get, like, you know, I would ask one of them, like, yeah, if y'all got it, if y'all don't, it's cool. But we still right here with it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. That's how we've been working it ever since. It's
That's
just,
what's up.
it's not, the thing about it is, when you put money as the main thing, like, that's what you need, that's when you lose. And I don't never put money in front like, man, I need to get this done with money. It's like, nah, I figure like, okay, what are the necessary steps? And then I look at the situation. I never, what I'm trying to say is I never make money the main priority.
Got you.
And I always win,
Got you.
you know? So.
Was your job helping you to fund stuff?
Yes, it was.
See, and that's important.
Yes, it was.
I want to bring that up because, like, even with my business, you know, I work, but I also manage my own, you know, online company. And, like, people don't really understand that the job that you're doing can fund whatever dream that you got.
It really can.
You know?
And shout out to Martin for even helping me out on that situation.
That's what's
man.
up.
He's a good guy. But what I would say about the the whole side job thing is, I was on a 9 to 5, and I just knew I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm gonna use some of this money that that I need on my daily routine. I'm gonna use it and put it towards music. So. But like I said, I never made money the main priority.
Yeah.
I always kept it like, let me get this music done.
Right.
Let me get the music done. And if you but you do have to make a living, but money don't have to be the main priority. And I feel like when you put money in front of everything and you just throw bread in front of it causes
taints it.
It's mentally taxing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just it'll work itself out.
Right.
Yes, that's on the list to help us out, but don't make it the main priority. Let's first get our 1-2 fix. What can we do first, and that'll help us get where we trying to go, without just putting this main big thing right in front and be like, okay, damn, we can't go nowhere because we don't have this. Let's start on the music.
Right.
Let's start on the music first.
Right. So what was your first step to getting Holy Rollers up and moving?
So my first step was, I talked to my friend like, okay, cause we was making, me and Sam, my producer partner, we was making music together. And I was like, bro, let's put out singles first. Let's put out singles first. So I looked online. I'm like, what is the best distribution company? Went to TuneCore, and I'm looking at TuneCore. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm looking at all these other situations, but I'm like, okay, TuneCore been around for a minute. My mom always told me, like, anything that's new, it ain't really broke in. So try to go with something that's pretty concrete, that been around for a minute. So I had to count already, because I had a song called Winter. So I dropped Winter probably like when I was 17, and then me and my boy Sam started working, and I'm like, man, we're gonna do singles for a couple of years. Couple of years till I was about 20. That was like 3 years.
And that started what year? What year did all that process start?
I started dropping music in 2013, but with me and him probably about around like 2015. I would say. Okay. 2015, but I was already dropping songs though.
Okay.
And I started dropping singles. I kept dropping singles. And after I kept dropping singles, I'm like, man, look, after we drop these singles, we gonna pick the best 3.
Okay.
We're gonna pick the best 3 and try to figure out what songs should go in there. And then you just make how many ever new ones. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you put them on a project. That's what I did with Tro Mix. I just made I made a lot of those songs. I put like 3 of them out, and then I put the rest of them on there.
Okay.
Made some new ones. So whichever one, I always tell people, whichever single does the best, put that one on the project. Put those on the project.
Yeah.
So if it's like, say for instance, you got Where Did She Go, 220, and you got Who Are You, right? All of those is like booming. But then you got those other 3 or 4 that's like, cool. Since we done heard those 3 or 4 and they done good, put those on the project and put some other new ones on there.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that way, it'll be, at least you still got songs on there people are gonna listen to. Like, I knew 220 was gonna go because it was already getting played as a single.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Got you. Yeah.
So it was all, I feel like singles pretty much tested to where, how can I say it? It's already being tested. Like the music the singles that you put out, you already testing the waters. So I feel like you can't take an L once it's on the project, because you already know it's been a test dummy during being a single.
Right.
So now it's on the project, it's like, oh, for sure it's gonna go. And then you put your little fillers on there and you good.
Got you.
But what keep your mental space, your mental headspace there is like, I already know this single got dummy play.
Yeah.
So let me put that one there.
Yeah.
And that's how I did with 220. I already knew it was a star. I already knew it was gonna be a star.
Yeah, that one's a hit. I love that
yeah.
song. Okay, so tell us about what you learned in economics, because you said you took an economics class. Now that's important, because we don't have a lot of that in our community.
That's true. So in economics, like, I learned like so much just about using your resources.
Yeah.
And pretty much jumping in, trying to understand when you're dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? The communication with people. Having different resources and using all of them. I learned all of that ownership. Like, so when I started to really gain ownership over my stuff, I was like, people used to always say, like, what do you have to do? So I was in econ class, and I was taking this, it was called ownership. And they got to the part where, like, with music, where the old school way was to send your music back to yourself.
Oh, okay.
You mail it back to yourself, you know. And now you go to copyright.gov, you import it on there, you get it stamped by the state of California saying this is your confidential information. And at that point, when I start learning all of those things in economics, it's like, okay, cool. And after that, you use the resources.
Got
Use
you.
the resources around you to get what you need done. And that's what I was learning that the whole time.
Copyright. So that reminds me of trademark, because I'm like going through trademark process.
Correct.
So that's kind of like the same thing, but for music, it's more so just making sure that the right ownership, the
Right.
rights are yours.
It's correct.
Got you.
So like when you do copyright.gov, it pretty much stamps that you own this situation.
Okay.
You own this is your piece of property. If anybody go illegally, if anybody go against it and they take it, because in court you can't do the you can't do the mail it back to yourself. It's not people like, well, I got a session on my computer. No, sir.
Right.
We don't know if that's gonna hold up.
Right.
But if you got this stamped, signed, and sealed by the state of California, you show them, you be like, yo, this is what I have on top of my sessions.
Right.
On top of my,
Right.
my SoundClouds and my Apple Music, because now people are just jumping on the internet, just taking. You got an audio of your guitar playing on YouTube. It's like people they just snatching it.
Right.
So you got to everything that you do, you got to at least put. Just like when most of these companies trademark, they put reserve,
Rights reserved.
rights reserved by whomever. You do the same thing with your stuff. Rights reserved by Kaylon Harmon. Rights reserved by so and so.
Right.
And I feel like when you do that, that pretty much tell people like, at least if it's not really a copyright information, they know that you're well aware of what's going on. And pretty much sometimes that stuff don't even be copyrighted. You look at it and be like, dang. It's rights reserved, and it could not be copyrighted. But at the same time, they got you thinking like, oh, he know what he doing. Now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I might not
yeah.
even want to touch that. I don't even know what's going on.
Right.
Like I just rather not touch that. So
'Cause
I've
I'm sorry.
learned that. So you good?
No, because I know, like, if I post something on Instagram, right? Okay, if I post something on Instagram, like, you know how if it's a song and you have it on the background of your video, they'll block it in certain states because it's copyrighted.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
so I just want to put that out there. We talk about ownership, so there's a few things about ownership that should be talked about. We talked about economics. We talked about just owning your process. We talked about copywriting. All that kind of stuff. So let's see. So how can you encourage up and coming artists and like anybody who's up and coming trying to go through this process?
I would say anybody that's up and coming doing music, just stay true to them and really keep your eyes on the prize, because I feel like I said, you don't want to lose yourself. And another thing, just first off, just have a goal in mind of where you want. A lot of time being young, you don't know where you're going. So I think to keep you, I don't want to say grounded, that's a part of it, but to keep you on track, write down a list of what you're trying to do. Just like when you have a job. Like when I worked at Planet Fitness, I had an objective, a goal of what was being done that day.
Yeah.
And once you have that, I feel like that keeps you on record to where, okay, cool, this is what I got to get done.
Yeah.
This is what I got to get done. So I'll just tell that young person, just write down where you want to go and what you want to do and how you're going to get there. You'll be great.
Okay, that's what's up. So we are now in the studio with Kaylon Hallman. Again, I want to encourage you guys to check out his catalog. He has some amazing music. He is on the rise, so y'all better catch him now before things start pulling off and y'all ain't gonna be able to have access. So one last thing before we go, I want to see. Let's see. What kind of question can I want to ask you? A challenging question. Let's see. How important is ownership to you?
How important is ownership to me?
And how did you learn about, what you know about ownership? Because that's not something that everybody knows at all.
How important is ownership to me? I think that matters the most. I think it just matters the most. Whatever you're doing, whatever your hands is on, make sure your name is there. I know everybody, being a good dude, you like, man, well, I gotta I gotta give a little. You know, I gotta. You know, a lot of people go in the game like, you gotta get played.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't really got a name, so I gotta do what I have to do in order to get where I want to go. But it's like, no sir, you deserve everything that you done put down. So, you know, take what you have, put it down, and be like, yo, this is my name, Kaylon Harmon. Kaylon Harmon did that. Not, oh, yo, we gonna, you good, man. Thank you, I appreciate that. So, and then also understanding, like, that's what I understand about going somewhere and getting what you need done, and then also owning it. It's just like, make sure you do the necessary things where I'm on that, I did that, and that's a part of my property now. So I think ownership is 100%. It means 100%. It means a lot to me. And what was your second question?
The second question. Well, I think that's it. That's cool. Yeah. And I concur with that because I've been talking a lot about black ownership. You know, everything that I do, I encourage us to have some type of accountability.
Right.
Like with the Black Money Matters, act like it. You know, I'm not just saying Black Money Matters. I'm saying put your action behind that.
Right.
Because what you put your money to, that can be your vote.
Right.
You know, a lot of us don't understand that, like, if you pay into, let's say, like a Taco Bell type of situation right now is a dangerous time for us to support that business because Trump gets their support. You know, so our money matters more than we realize it. And there are so many different things that we have to pay attention to in order to make things work in our favor in the future. So I definitely agree with that. But we are going to wrap up. Thank you all for tuning into our show. This evening, our studio guest, Kaylon Hallman, gave us some good nuggets. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will be back in the studio on the 1st of September. So you never know who we going to have in next. But y'all make sure y'all tune in. I'm J Got Soul. And we are going to peace out.